Welcome to the College of Wealth podcast, the ultimate financial guide to help you understand your financial stresses and how you can build from it. Your lessons won't be in class, and your projects can either save you or earn you money. We host episodes 2 times a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays to help you reach your financial freedom. Now let's get started with your hosts, Owen, Paradis, and William Goulet.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. My name is Owen Paradis. I'm here with my co-host, William Goulet, and we're proud to present to you the College of Wealth podcast.
Podcast.
Yes, this is the College of Wealth podcast. This is a financial podcast that teaches you the latest and greatest information about money, because at the end of the day, this is a crazy money-making world.
I'll agree because I don't know. I'm running out of ideas on how to say about crazy envy of money making, so I'll just agree.
But, okay, that's good here. But like we do like to go and say here, because it is money making, we do like to give a little bit of a warning that this podcast is for entertainment purposes only. It's only really meant to.
I had an idea about that. If I could jump in.
Okay.
So it is for entertainment purposes. But I think that saying only is a mistake. The information that we give is good information. And it's educated information based on actual research. So let's start making that part of our pitch. I'm thinking information and entertainment. Put it together, infotainment. What do you think?
I like the education part more.
I said, I'm like, are we coming up with a new thing here? Mind you, whenever I laugh at that, I always think of my horrible one that I said where I'm like, attainment-mation or whatever.
Yeah, attainment info.
Oh, that was the worst.
Yeah, but jokes aside here, we like to go and call it infotainment here at the College of Wealth podcast. Because both Will, we just give a heads up that both Will nor myself are we are not financial advisors.
Certainly not me, anyways, Owen. Not me.
Me either. But
true.
We studied business. We got our bachelor's degree in business. I work in finances. Will works in marketing. So I'm just kind of sort of trying to validate the fact that we do have a passion for this kind of stuff.
Validate is the right word, because as we like to say, our interest for the financial world is valid, but not just in any way, because that's not what we do here at the College of Wealth podcast. It's valid in the Gen Z way. Yes. Imagine checkmark emoji beside it. So
exactly. And we also have 2 other reasons why we do this podcast, other than the reason that we've literally done this, I guess today's 124 times.
I could give you 124 reasons why. But we do have 2 specific reasons.
Yes.
Because sometimes it's saving money, right? In economic downturns like we're having right now, that's what the talk of the town.
Yep.
It's saving money. But whenever we can, we like to create wealth. That is to say, we love to make money.
I could not agree more, Will. That is well put. I like that very much.
Right on.
And you're going to like today's episode. But before we hop into today's episode, I just want to go and tell everyone to make sure, give us a 5-star review on Apple or on Spotify. It really help us out with the algorithm. Go and give us a subscribe or a like on YouTube. It'd really help us out here. Also, if you haven't done so, check us out on TikTok or Instagram at College of Wealth Podcast. So all these different platforms that we're targeting, we're going to be posting a lot more content. Both Will and I literally sat down yesterday and had a master plan of what our goals were for the social media marketing. So there's going to be a lot more to come.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to what's next, honestly. It's a good plan we put together.
So now that we got that put aside or done, we got to go and hop into episode 124. And I'm excited about this one because we brought this up on earlier episodes. Okay. And it's going to be exciting.
Okay. I'm on the edge of my seat here. Come on. What are we talking about?
What should you do when you win the lottery?
Oh, yes. Oh, that's such a fun one.
It's going to be a fun one. It's going to be a wild one.
I don't know about you, but I've been having this conversation with my parents since I was like 8 years old.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And there's going to be some stuff that I've looked up. Like, you're there. Like, I hate it so much because I was literally there and it's like, oh, God, I want to gamble now myself.
Yeah, it does make you, when you talk about that, you start dreaming and...
Yeah.
You know, what's nice about dreaming is it usually puts you to action. But the action can be gambling, so there's some spots there.
It's not the greatest in that case, but it's going to be really cool. There's going to be some interesting stuff that I didn't really realize until I did the research. Okay. There's going to be some stats that are mind-boggling.
Statman, of course.
And then also just different things that people have learned the best way to tackle these types of problems that you're going to face later on.
That's what they say. More money, more problems.
So obviously we're going to go and start off with our statistics. These are going to be some fun ones. What percentage of lottery winners keep working a daytime job? This is according to the California Association of Mortgage Professionals.
Okay. I'm assuming that the lottery winners are significant amounts that they wouldn't have to. But I imagine that most people quit. So let's call it 20% keep a daytime job.
48%.
Wow.
48%.
My
keep
goodness.
A full-time job. And it mainly due to the fact that it keeps them busy.
Well, I get that. I guess. But that's a shocking number, really.
Our second stat actually has to do, we're going to go back in history here. Mm-hmm. When was the first recorded lottery?
Oh, that must be back in 1876.
You got to go further.
Really? Okay.
201 to 187 BCE in China.
Whoa. My goodness.
And oddly enough, it was actually created for governmental projects.
That makes sense.
So we haven't strayed too far away from it ourselves.
Well, that's back when global taxation was minimal, so you had to voluntarily get in there to get your money taken away.
Literally, yeah. What percentage of people between 45 and 54 played the lottery? This is a high. By the way, I'm going to give you. I didn't word it correctly, but I'll throw you a bone. It's the highest percentage of any demographic.
Yeah, I was going to say that because people are getting closer to retirement. They're like, man, maybe I don't have as much as I thought or I wanted to. So Let's see if I can get a little pick-me-up here. I'm going to say 68% of people within that age group.
Good guess. It's so that's actually, oddly enough, the demographic between 18 and 34.
Whoa. So even
which
higher.
Is the lowest.
Yeah.
And between 45 and 54, it's 75%.
Oh, I'm surprised there's not a bigger delta.
But they play. It is very surprising, and they play the lottery regularly, which is the craziest part.
No, that makes sense.
And the last statistic, and this one is honestly, truly flabbergasting.
Okay. Yeah.
Lottery winners are more known to go bankrupt compared to the average Joe.
Sure. False sense of security.
Between 3 and 5 years is the most frequent time. What percentage more? How more likely are they to get bankrupt?
Okay.
Okay.
How
Let
many
me rephrase this. Let me rephrase this.
Sure.
What percentage of lottery winners? What percentage of lottery winners deal with bankruptcy?
Okay.
File for bankruptcy.
I wouldn't imagine that it's most. I imagine most people are able to calm their resources and control them. But let's go for a slick 22%.
Now, the statistics vary between between the different information.
Yeah.
But it goes all the way up to 70%.
Whoa!
And this is the Camelot Group did a study that said 44% will deal with bankruptcy. And then the National Endowment of Financial Education said up to 70% of lottery winners.
That is wild.
Yeah.
Wild. I guess I would mostly understand that if you include lower prizes. Where people just get a false sense of security. I won this. And, yeah. Wow. Crazy.
Flabbergasting.
Yes. I'm not using the correct terminology on the podcast.
But it is truly something that I think was important to bring up because we're going to talk about the different things that you should do to avoid bankruptcy.
Yeah, because we don't want to go there, man.
And there's certain things that you shouldn't do as well, by the way. We're going to talk about both things.
Especially after striking gold.
Yes.
Especially when you don't want to lose.
The first thing we're going to be talking about for our first segment is going to be, honestly, try to contain the excitement. Don't share the news with anyone or as little amount of people as possible. That's our segment on this one.
Yeah, no, I agree. That is an interesting one.
People want to share the news with as much people as possible, and that is the last thing you want to do.
Now, I believe there is a law in Canada that your winnings need to be published.
I don't like that. We're going to be talking about that,
okay,
but I
right
do not like it at all.
Yeah.
We'll discuss about it. Actually, you know what? It's actually one of my points, our fourth point in this segment, so we can discuss about it here.
Okay.
But in this case, it's just a huge inconvenience to me in my eyes that you have to go identify yourself.
I agree. It has to be publicly known somewhere, which is, it's crazy when you think about it that there wouldn't be an option for privacy.
I wouldn't see why. It's like, okay, it's literally like saying, hey guys, look, this guy's made millions.
You know what I bet it is? My guess is it's to keep the Lottery Association honest and say,
yes,
it was an anonymous winner and the money went to the anonymous person.
Oh, for sure.
There needs to be a paper trail so someone can verify, I guess.
Exactly. It does make sense there. It's just mildly frustrating for the people who have to claim it because now their name is literally published for the world to see.
I have a member of my family who's very shy and doesn't want any public presence whatsoever. So we talk about this, and this person says, what I would do is I'd go to Nunavut, I'd contact a newspaper over there, and I'd publish my winnings on there, and just everyone else,
honestly,
never mind. Yeah, I disappear.
Well, so here's the thing. You have to go to headquarters to get it published. You have to go. So in Canada, it's OLG. So the Ontario Lottery, like for us in Ontario, it's the Ontario Lottery Gaming Corporation. Mm-hmm. Well, that ends up you have to go to headquarters. So you got to go to Toronto.
Yes.
And I know that it became a huge ordeal. My aunt actually deals with. She has a corner store, and she actually had $1 million ticket that was sold at her store.
Oh wow.
And she was freaking out while literally the whole system shut down. And she says, I could not deal any lottery or anything like that for half the day.
Wow.
She
just
says
for verification purposes?
Yeah. She says literally when she scanned the ticket, she says literally within 1 minute 1 to 2 minutes, OLG called her up and said they knew that it got scanned. And so they had to verify absolutely everything. And she says it was awesome. It was exciting. But at the same time, it was a huge inconvenience because I had to go and I lost a whole bunch of customers because of it at the same time.
Yeah, and especially when you have gambling customers, it's always, lightning never strikes twice in the same place. I won't be buying tickets from there anymore. Is it true that a percentage goes to the owner of the store?
I was actually just going to follow that up. I think it's 1%.
Great.
1% of winnings. I think it's starting at $20,000 or $25,000. Don't quote me on this, but after X amount, depending on the size of the prize, 1% goes to the store owner. So although my aunt did end up losing some customers, she did end up getting some winnings as well on her side. So
That's
a bit
awesome.
of a bonus. But our second point that we have to discuss about this, actually, no, it's our first one, but it's going to be our second one that we discuss, is you'll notice the amount of people that coincidentally are showing up in your life again. That are your friends all of a sudden that seem to be a lot closer than what you thought they were.
A distant relative that isn't so distant anymore.
Well, that's actually the biggest thing that they bring up is honestly, if you can do one or the other, which I honestly would think would be the best thing. Change your contacts. The first thing you should be doing, change your phone number. If you can go and change your phone number, do it. And they even suggested to go and change your address if you could.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
But the first thing you do is don't rush to claim the prize, but get all your ducks in a row before you claim the prize itself.
Oh, if you're able to change your number and all that, just do it.
Yeah, well, just be able to prepare yourself with this huge windfall that's coming in.
True.
And I've even seen reports that said if you want to take the extra step, go on a trip.
Really?
Get the money, go on a trip. Go for a week, 2 weeks, however long you want to go.
Oh, yeah, so people just leave you alone. They can't reach you.
Well, that's exactly it. Nobody is going to be able to reach you or anything like that. And on top of that, banks aren't going to be able to reach out to you, financial advisors, lawyers, or anyone, because now people are going to be bombarding you to try and get your money.
Honestly, jeez.
And it's honestly not just them, but also charitable organizations.
It's true. And everyone will have a story. My son's hockey team, a recent injury, and I have to take some time off of work for XYZ reasons.
Yep.
Which isn't to say that there aren't good reasons, but all of a sudden you're prime target number one, you know?
Mm-hmm. And it's why it's so important to have all your ducks in a row. And if you go on a trip as well, maybe people are saying, hopefully it'll subside.
Yeah.
And then that's when you could declutter everything once you get back home.
Well, it's also an immense amount of pressure.
Yes.
Sometimes you just got to sit back, truly think on something before making a decision, and have a chance for your rational mind to come in and not just the emotional side.
We are going to be talking about that in our second segment.
Right on.
We have to go and talk about this second segment right now, and it's to have the right team with you.
True.
To have a rational mind, you can't do that on your own now.
No.
You just, and that's the biggest thing I saw. Your life as a person does not change. Your lifestyle can change, but that's that's for you to decide. You don't change.
Oh, true.
You don't change with $1 million or $1 billion. That doesn't change overnight.
Yeah, you're right.
It's literally your choices. You want to become snobby and everything like that. That wasn't you changing. We're just seeing the true self of you.
It's a perfect example. Are you going to keep your regular job? Or are you going out, flailing the middle finger everywhere, saying, screw this, screw that, I'm getting out of here.
Yeah.
Screw you, you're cool.
But that they say that you should have at least three members on your team.
Wow.
And that is a financial advisor, a lawyer, and an accountant.
Yeah, I could see all of those. The accountant's usually the one that helps you keep your money. The lawyer makes sure you're straight, and the financial advisor is planning your future.
Yes,
So
but
that's
exactly why you're covering all the grounds. But the most important thing is if you're going to go and get a team, get yourself a team that's tailored to exactly what you want.
Okay, yeah, true.
So if you want to go and do investing, then you may want to go and try and get a team that's good for investing. Or let's say you're going into real estate, we'll get some people who are good with real estate. Get yourself a team that's good with starting businesses, with patents, lawyer, all that kind of stuff. So Now, when you're going to go and purchase, let's say, a property, a 15 unit, 15 plex or whatever, however, 16 plex, you don't have to go through all the hoops or anything. You have your team that could literally plow through it with you.
Well, I think of it this way. A small business does not have a board of directors because it doesn't have enough money to.
Yes.
But a big business will have a board of directors to make sure that everything's, done properly. And that's what your small team can be. It's similar to a board of directors. We're managing a big thing now.
Yeah. And the more people that you have on your team, the more opportunities you have not, how can I say, over doing irrational things.
True. Everyone keeps each other in check.
Yes. And also, they also recommend to go and try, and if you can get more people, it's great, because the last thing you want is for people to start colluding, or especially if you live in a small city. So no offense, but cities like where you and I live.
Yeah.
Our options for lawyers or accountants or top-notch people like that dealing with millions of dollars, their client base that have portfolios of that size are relatively small.
Yeah. So,
their experience is not the biggest in that case. But if you decide to go and get yourself a good lawyer or a good accountant who's renowned in Toronto, let's say, or New York, they're going to be more expensive, but they know how to deal with $50, $100 million, $250 million portfolios because they do it day to day.
They have expertise, for sure, no doubt.
It's not, they're not going to go and change their strategies or anything like that, or touch different water, like undiscovered waters, like someone who it's their first $1 million plus portfolio.
I just want to bring this up for marketing of lottery. What do you think is the biggest emotion that they play on?
Desire?
Okay, I was thinking regret. I find those are the ones that, you'll see the video. Everyone at the office is cheering. Yeah, and you see the one person in their cubicle. They're all sad that it's like, oh, well, you didn't play, so you don't get any winnings.
I've never seen an ad like that before.
Oh, really? Oh, no, I've seen those, man. And those are the ones that it would come get me a lot. And I remember I used to participate in a group lottery at work, and I'd say I can forgive myself for having spent the $2 and not winning. But if everyone else won and I didn't, I couldn't forgive myself.
Yeah, for sure. And that is actually, I could kind of see that. I've never been part of a pool like that before.
Oh no, they can be fun.
They can be fun, especially when you win a $4 prize on $80.
Yeah. Those are the times where you're like, hey, look at that, $4 off the next round.
Well, so now that we have that put in place here, we also have to go and talk about a huge difference, and that's Canada versus United States. It's another versus round.
Yeah. I mean, huge tax implications.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of different things that you should be adding on to your train of thoughts when it comes to the United States here. So we're going to be talking a little bit about that kind of stuff. So the first thing is lump sums and annuities. Annuities.
Okay. Yep.
So obviously in Canada, that's the biggest difference compared to the United States. Mm-hmm. You only have a lump sum option. And
oh, really? I didn't.
Yes.
Actually, we do have cash for life now, which has changed. But yeah,
I mean, cash for life is not new, but that is literally what the prize is. It's an annuity.
Yes, but you do have the bulk option.
Yes, you do, but they work so it's kind of weird because they work the other way around. Because cash for life is basically you have the annuity, you could win the annuity, but you have the option to get the payout. Versus the like in the United States, it's you can get the payout at a reduced amount, or you can get the annuity for the full amount.
Well, it would be the same in the
yes.
in the Daily
same
Grand. It's $1,000 a week, or you can get a $7 million payout, which is 20 years worth.
Yes.
And
so that's the biggest thing in the United States. The biggest reason is the tax implications that come along with it.
True. I guess that's even bigger in the States.
Well, in Canada, we don't have taxes when it comes to the lottery. And we've discussed this beforehand. It's considered a windfall.
Yeah, that's spectacular.
And in the United States, when you end up winning that, which is the highest lottery was $1.6 billion, you could imagine the amount of taxes that were involved with that. And if you took a lump sum, it's even smaller.
Yeah.
And usually the lump sum is approximately 60% of what the prize is.
Oh, really? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll just say this because I did the math with the Daily Grand. Because it's 20 years worth, you can think of that as 5%. Okay. 1 year is 5%. Now, knowing that the market usually performs at 6 or 7% on average, it would be a more wise decision if you intend to live more than 20 years.
We hope so, anyways.
No, even if you do live under 20 years, it'd be better to grab the lump sum because your money can actually perform at that, and you'll still maintain your principal.
Yes. So this is actually something I saw that was really interesting. CNBC Make It had a report, and they talked a lot to wealthy people, asking them, would you rather take the annuity or the lump sum? Mm-hmm. And it was split. It was actually the recommendations were split because some people said, actually, I'll say it flat out. One of the points to this, and this is for the American listeners here, but Canadians, you can also follow this with a specific guide, I guess you could say. Mm-hmm. Lump sums are really good if you're savvy and it comes with investments. If you have a team and everything, like you're able to go and plan it all out, awesome. Really good way to go and do it. Do the lump sum, hands down.
Yeah.
But if you're not good at managing your money, annuity is the way to go.
Interesting.
You don't think you can put yourself in control? The annuity is a more secure way. You're going to get the same amount as what you have. You're going to get, but your earnings potential is going to be lower with the annuity. But if you decide to go, let's say, let's say you end up winning the Lotto Max $70 million, but I think it's like that right now.
Yeah, I'm in heaven.
So it's $70 million. Imagine if we had that program here in Canada where you were able, you had the annuity option, you'll get your $70 million over the course of 20 years.
So it forces a budget onto you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that'll keep you within your means. Keep you within your means.
Yeah.
And if you're responsible, at least. But on the flip side, if you decide to get the $70 million, imagine if you just invested $20 million of that $70 million and kept it for 20 years, where you'd be after that time has elapsed. I could guarantee you that you'd have a lot more than the $70 million.
I agree. I think if you're able to do basic money management and have some control over your expenses and how you spend, I would personally take the lump sum. I think it's the way to go.
Well, I mean, this is all again for Americans, and if you're a Canadian, treat it like an annuity as well. Put some money aside and use it like an opportunity to go and invest.
True.
Imagine being able to use this and putting it to your own, like put it into your own investments, and just seeing it grow from let's say 5 million and then up to 25 million in 10 years time.
Wow. Imagine. And you can, if you have a high enough lump sum, you can say whatever gains were made this year, that's what I'll spend. And you'll be fine because that lump sum will still be there. Yes. I would always suggest aiming towards a little bit of growth at least, but it's still a valid option.
Well, that's exactly it. And I think that's the wildest part of it all. You've reached the financial goals of being financially independent.
Yeah, it's done. Like that.
It got fast tracked. Congratulations.
You barely even have to buy anything, you know?
But that's the biggest issue. That's exactly why a lot of people end up filing for bankruptcy, is because they have no self-control. And it kind of loops back to our second point where we stated that it's probably best to go and hire a team, and not to, as bad as it sounds, don't trust yourself.
Yeah, true.
Don't fully trust yourself, because you don't know what you can be put through with a salesman in front of you or a salesperson in front of you and some luxury items.
Yeah. Well, that's what they say, even for the smartest lawyer. They always hire another lawyer.
Yes.
And to those lawyers who represent themselves, they say they have a fool for a client. Because it's not a good choice to just trust yourself fully.
Yeah. I like that. It's really good. So now that we have our lump sum in place, we hired the right talent, and you obviously tried to contain your excitement. Probably by now, everyone knows about you winning the millions. Congratulations again.
Yeah.
There's one last step you got to do, and that's to plan your future, either your immediate future and also your future generations.
True.
I'm going to be the bearer of bad news here, or bearer of good news, depending on how you look at it. You're not going to be able to spend $50 million. You can. You definitely can. But if you are responsible, you are going to be set for life. You are going to have your next generation set for life, and you could potentially have the next generation after that set for life.
Well, actually, that's one of the things that they say is, for someone who's extremely, extremely rich, the next generation will be also rich, but the generation after that tends to slack off and bring that net worth down. So
because they've never known the struggles of self.
Exactly. They've never had to go through it. Whereas the next generation, well, they grew up with you as a parent, and that you shared some of that with them.
Yep. And with that, though, if you're planning on trying to plan it out, like I said, put some money to side. But also, this is a reality. My dad actually knows someone who is, I don't remember if he's very successful. He's a successful business owner, or he won millions of dollars.
Okay.
But it's really important to start making friends who can relate to you.
Yes.
And when I say relate to you, I don't mean people who are quote unquote friends. I mean people who either are successful business owners who've also won the lottery, or who are in your shoes and understand it as well. Because you're going to be able to, your friends aren't available 24/7, because they have to work as well Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. Yeah. And that was what my dad was saying. The guy that he knows went in a really bad, not really bad situation, but he was really down and went in a little bit of a depression because he didn't know what he wanted to do in life.
Oh, yeah.
He was lost. His purpose, he doesn't know. None of his friends want to get together because they're working. And his family, nobody. So he's there, and it's like, well, while everyone else is doing what the average Joe does, I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
And it's always known to be almost like a cabal. Oh, the rich stay with the rich and stuff like that. But it's more like the rich have a similar amount of time available as the other.
They still have 24 hours.
Yeah. And I can reach them outside of during business hours and stuff. And they're either entrepreneurs. And if we want to make time, we just make time, connect, and go out. So.
Exactly. Our third point in regards to this here is to keep sticking with your budget. I've even seen things that said, do not change your lifestyle or your spending habits for the next 6 months.
Oh, wow.
They said, do not change your habit. But exactly that. If you're able to stick it out for 6 months, imagine what you'd be able to do with the next 6 years, 10 years time after that.
You've also had the chance to see your money grow a little bit too.
Well, I would really hope it'd grow a little bit. let's say you win $50 million. I'd really hope it went up at least $5,000 in 6 months there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think even if you go for one of those crazy high interest savings account of 2%, you still, it's still not too bad.
No, exactly. Actually, if you think 50 million, just $1 million, or let's say $50 million, 1% of $50 million over the course of a year.
500,000, $500,000.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Could you imagine?
Exactly that.
That's
and
life.
$500,000, you made more than what someone will make in 5 years, 10 years time, depending on what their salary is.
True, and it's post-tax,
Yes.
So, actually, that's one thing that I want to bring up is the scenario of huge lottery winnings, like 70 million, versus maybe winning $1 million. In lottery.
Something that's life-changing or life-altering, but not life.
You can't sustain a whole.
You can't retire.
Lifetime.
Yeah,
exactly. Now the best advice that I've probably heard before is okay. You're winning $1 million, $2 million. You can't retire on that anymore.
No.
At least not classical retirement. Maybe you do a fire movement, and you could do it, but that's besides the point. He says you need to have some sort of celebration, otherwise you're going to go nuts and it's not going to work. So you take 5% out, and that's your go crazy money for the next 6 months. Okay, you have 6 months of fun, but then you just live a normal life. Mm-hmm. And you just let that keep growing and growing, and eventually you're going to hit the certain target and say, okay, now I am financially independent no matter what. And then once you hit that target, then it's, okay, great, now I get to do whatever I want, actually. Yep. So, that's in contrast to winning 70 million where you can quit next day, next hour, next minute, and just say, I'm done, bye.
I wouldn't, those in-between numbers are a huge one to think about.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't be able to retire on $1 million. There's no way.
Like someone could make that happen, but I just.
But you'd follow the fire movement.
Yeah. It'd be too tight for my own comfort.
We have 2 more points for this last segment that we have to talk about.
Yep.
And like I was talking about making friends of that kind, work on your hobbies, certain things that you like to do, discover new things. There's nothing wrong with traveling. There's nothing wrong with spending a little bit of money as well. Like, for crying out loud, how the heck are you supposed to... I'd be a hypocrite to go and say, invest all your $70 million and not see a penny of it.
Yeah, no way, man.
I like, why? Why would you do that?
Yeah,
You're just putting yourself...
even win?
Yeah, why even win at that point? Yes, like, what are you going to do with your life at that point? Like, what are you going to do with 100 million? If you're going to do nothing with 70 million, what are you going to do with 100 million?
Yeah, what's it worth to you?
So it's just one of those things that enjoy life as well. Enjoy the hobbies and figure out different things that you would like to turn into a pastime. As ridiculous as it is, find things that make you happy. Sure. And that's why a lot of wealthy people have fun going to charitable events or volunteering and also helping out, because money is not something that they care about anymore. They just want to go and give time to the people that they care about. What's
accomplishing as a human being. I agree.
Yes.
Yeah.
And our final point in regards to this here is to know when to say, this is the last one. You need to get good at saying no.
Yeah, true.
You're gonna learn very quickly the people who are there for only your money. Yeah. You're gonna learn very quickly the people who are gonna hate you and the people who are gonna literally define you as a scumbag and that the money has got to you just because you said no because you didn't think it was a valid point, like it was worth it for you to buy a 4-wheeler for that 8-year-old's birthday.
Yeah, I promised him what I have to. Otherwise, I'm a horrible parent.
Yeah, like your third or fourth cousin, and then they're getting mad at you because you didn't spend $10,000 on on their kid's birthday.
Yeah,
that's not your business.
I think for someone who has a hard time, I always thought of doing something like this. How much of my total money should go to charitable events? How much of my total money should go to friends? How much of this, that? And you grow those as separate accounts. So let's say you say 20% will go to friends.
Yeah.
So you put this out of 70 million, because that's what we have in Ontario.
Yeah.
14 million will go into its account, and it'll grow. And whatever growth it made, that's your budget for the year.
Yep.
To be able to give to friends and family and to charitable events. That way it'll always sustain itself, and you'll always have some to give. And to someone who has a hard time saying no, you can set yourself that limit, and by having that team, you can have your accountant say, nope, you're out, sorry, and just move on.
It's true. Yeah. Establish those guidelines beforehand.
And you don't need to tell the truth. No one needs to know what the balance is in your account.
Oddly enough,
yeah,
I have to share this here. I saw a story about people, like Reddit stories of people saying they made million, like they won the lottery.
Yeah.
And there was, I guess it was an uncle or something like that got in trouble with the law, and he was in jail, and he had bail, and it was something like $50,000. And the dad, I guess his brother bailed him out beforehand, and enough's enough. He's like, you know what? And he says people were always taking advantage of him. The family always took because of his winnings.
Yeah.
And the family went and said, could you bail him out? Could you bail him out? And then the dad went and said, you know what? You know what I'm going to do? For every dollar that that the family contributes, I'm going to go and put $2.
Very nice.
I forget what it was, but it was something like $2 or $5.
Yeah.
So the family only had to put up like $10,000 or $5,000. Nothing that's life altering, but enough to, and
keep
they did
people
not
in check.
And you said no one put any money at all whatsoever. And the biggest thing was exactly that. And his excuse was they have nothing to blame now because I said this is what I'm going to do, and it's not just my fault.
Yeah,
you guys are just at fault too.
Yeah, so, honestly, that's a way to keep everyone in check.
Yeah, exactly. For especially someone else's, I wouldn't even say misfortunes, but not following the law.
yeah, and you almost have to turn into one of those online scams. Give me $100 and then I'll give back $600, but you have to give me the money first.
Yeah. So our last question here, Will, is what would you do? Let's say you won, for any American here, the Lotto Max is the highest we'll get here in Canada. It's $70 million. I was surprised for it to reach $70 million. But it's nothing like the Powerball, or it's nothing like the Mega Millions or anything like that.
Yeah.
In Canada, it's a flat $70 million.
Only that? Oh no. What would I do?
Yes.
Okay. I think what I do is, well, because of your advice, I think you're right. Get yourself a competent accountant, I don't know if a lawyer is necessary, but I for $300 an hour, $400 an hour, whatever, it's like whatever. I'll have them on.
even $1,000 an hour. Like.
Yeah. So you're right. An accountant, a lawyer, and
a financial advisor.
Yeah, I'm a financial advisor as well, a competent one, and. I'd come up with a plan and I'd say, look, here's what I want. I want X amount of money every year. The rest I want it to grow. And my X amount of money is probably going to be something like something high, $500,000 a month. So $6 million a year.
Okay.
And yeah, then I devise that into Actually, no, I wouldn't do it like that. I'd do it. Okay, here it is. I got it now for real.
We're not asking for a full breakdown of how every single purchase you're going to do here.
I get my team. I want half the growth over that happens with my money. I want it. So I take $2 million flat, and then half the growth I keep, and then the other half it just keeps growing into whatever amount it grows into.
Okay.
And then I lay out a percentage for, like I said, for charitable events, for friends and family, and maybe vacation.
Okay.
That's it.
That's fair.
And you, Owen? What would you do?
Well, I'd put like 1.5% to... I'm kidding.
Come on. Cut me some slack here.
So for something like that, honestly, I would get into heavy real estate because I've always been into real estate there. But I have next to no debt at all, but I would pay my family's debt, especially like immediate family, such as like my mom, my dad. I don't even think my dad's, you know what? Because my dad's debt free, he gets nothing.
Owen, you're starting to get into the nitty gritty too there. Not so easy to summarize your thoughts.
It's true. It's true. But no, in all honesty, I would probably give a little bit of money to my immediate family.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then on top of that, I would give a bit to I would do some real estate.
Yep.
And more than likely get some good property managers, hire a team in that way too.
Yep. Yeah.
And so I don't have to go hands-on.
So you get in real estate right now?
Oh, yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes, but I do some research, obviously. Like, I'm not just going to go and say first available property I see I'm going to buy.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious because I just think that's a lot more hands-on.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that.
Interesting.
I'm totally fine with that. And I'd be able to... It's just something I've been truly passionate about since I was a kid.
Would you keep your job?
No.
Would you give him notice?
Yes.
How much notice?
I would give him 2 weeks.
You give the full 2 weeks?
I'd give him the full 2 weeks.
That's
I respect my employers. They've done nothing wrong to me.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of them would just think I'd be crazy just to stay.
Yeah, I think I'd offer up 2 weeks. I say I can give you up to 2 weeks, but if you think we're done, just cut me off. We're done.
Yeah.
I say I leave it to you. If you think you need me for that full 2 weeks, fine, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, just let me know because I got 70 million reasons to leave right now.
What an awesome way to end this episode here. If you haven't, please let us know on what you do with your millions of dollars if you won the lottery.
Yeah.
It'd be awesome to know. Tell us in the comments on YouTube, Spotify, or anywhere that you listen to the podcast. Mm-hmm. With that being said, my name is Owen Paradis. I'm here with my co-host, Goulet, and we're proud to present to you the College of Wealth podcast. Peace.
2 figures, peace.
This has been your daily dose of motivation with the College of Wealth podcast. If you enjoyed the show, make sure to leave us a positive review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. It would be greatly appreciated. Thank you for listening, and until next episode.